Start off this luncheon by inviting Christy up here to go ahead and do our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, and what a privilege it is to pray with y'all. If you'll just bow your head and join me in prayer. Lord, first and always, we come before you filled with gratitude. When we reflect on the burdens our brothers and sisters carry in far-off, war-torn lands, and those places steeped in persecution and poverty, most of us can truly say we really have never had a bad day. So we lift them up to you, Lord, the people in Ukraine and across the world who daily face fear and affliction. Make us mindful every moment of our unique blessings in this country. And Lord, would you put leaders in place who know you, those who covet freedom and reject the pull of tyranny. Only hearts and minds devoted to you and directed by you can fix what's broken in our world. Thank you, Father, for this fun chamber. Thank you for this community and this state. Again and again, your blessings to us are overwhelming. And now we pray, help us bless you. Give us discernment so that your will becomes our will. Help us love like you love and serve one another with joy. We know now that it is truly a gift just to be together. Thank you for this lunch, for sweet Chef Jay and the hands that prepared and provided this meal. Thank you for this little town and this little state with the biggest hearts. And help us to be mindful of you throughout the rest of this and every day. We ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen.
Now, if you'll please rise so we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. It's up here with the rest of the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to be with all of you today. What a wonderful crowd we have today. There are some folks that I'd like to recognize who are here with us this afternoon. First off, we've got Jackson Gossett from Congressman Wilson's office. Thank you for being here. We've got Chief Bobby Dale from Irmo PD with us. Welcome. Assistant Chief John Hendricks. Welcome. We've got Sergeant Trent Williams with us today. Glad to have you. Our Fire Marshal, Mr. Brian Haley. Glad to have you with us. Dr. Ross is here with us today. Thank you for being here. We've got Courtney Dennis. He's our town administrator. And I think this is the first time that we've had Mia and Rodney with us today. They are new to the town as well. Our assistant town administrator, Rodney Tucker, and our director of communications, Mia Wilkins. And of course, we have Chuck with us today. Mr. Chuck Larson, the first president of the chamber. Thank you for always supporting us. We appreciate you being here. My board members, if you will please stand. I have the most amazing board. Thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate y'all so much. And of course, our diplomats, rolling up those sleeves today, huh? Helping Chef Jay back there. They are our army of volunteers. Ginger and I could not do anything without them. So thank you so much to all of our diplomats. If you'll please stand. So I need to recognize a few people as well, a few sponsors. Up in the Crow's Nest, we have Raymond doing all of our audio-visual with RAYNET Technologies. As you know, we record this and then we put it out on Facebook. Lee Essig, our photographer. There she is over here. Thank you. Cutthroat Marketing, who does all of our digital presence. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. And the fellowship hall was taken care of today. It was sanitized by OxyTime. They come in before every meeting, so thanks to OxyTime. And of course, we have Chef Jay. I think she's back in the kitchen with the art of charcuterie. You want to come say anything? And if you order something from Chef Jay, like charcuterie boxes, she can bring them out to you. She can meet you at the chamber or whatever. So I encourage y'all to continue to support her because she does great work for this community. So we really appreciate you, Judy. Thank you. All right. And then, of course, we had to have a sponsor, and our sponsor just happened to be our Diplomat of the Year. United Community Bank agreed to sponsor us today, and Morgan wanted me to tell all of y'all that they're a bank. If you ever need anything, please reach out to him or Eric Shelby. They do great work in our community. You know, they're located all over the Midlands. So please reach out to Morgan. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for all that you do for this chamber. Diplomat of the Year was a very well-deserved honor for you. So I appreciate all that you do. Jack, do you want to come up for a second and tell everybody about the long-awaited return of Bark to the Park? Bark to the Park, right? We need to take this for Nana.
Thank you. After 2 years of not being allowed to gather 1,000 people together, we're doing it. April 23rd this year. Y'all, we have posters. Of course, I'm looking for sponsors for it. And the most important thing of all, this is an official event. We have a refrigerator magnet. Now, it doesn't get any better than that, but I have those over there. And if anybody's interested in sponsorship, goodness gracious, I need them, okay? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Jack. See, things are getting back to normal. We can get all of our fur babies together, right? All right. I'm going to ask Cindy to walk around the room. She's got the microphone. If this is your first time visiting with us, if you are a new partner or you've never been with us before, please stand up so that you can introduce yourself. I know y'all don't want to do that, but please stand up anyway and introduce yourself. Come on.
Good morning, good afternoon. Either way, I am Greg Stoltz with GMM Insurance. We work with property, casualty, and commercial insurance, and just want to thank everyone for the hospitality, and real excited to be here today and check out the meeting.
All right, welcome.
Good morning. My name is Sherette Davis, and I am new to the chamber. I'm working on actually opening my restaurant, which is going to be an upscale fine dining restaurant in Irmo. There will be a dress code. You have to come fancy all the time. I am having
Irmo getting fancy.
I am having a masquerade on August 13th. You will have to bring your own mask, of course. Come dressed up and nice. I do have a invitation to give you. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, welcome, Shrett.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. My name is Erica Edmond. I'm with the Belizer Insurance Agency. I'm a commercial insurance agent. That's my specialty. And we are licensed in multiple states. It's a wonderful and a pleasure to be around some great individuals. So I look forward to networking with you.
Thanks for being here.
Hello, my name is Stacy Morton. I am attending on behalf of Lexington Medical Center. I am the new radiology manager at LMC Irmo.
Oh, good.
So glad to be here.
All right, glad to have you here.
Anybody else?
We have some more folks over here. We have a new manager at LMC Irmo. Yes, new director, Job. I got his name right.
Hello, my name is Celeste Mercer. I am here for my daughter today, but because I have the opportunity, I'm going to stand up and say that I am a rehab liaison with Midlands Regional Rehab Hospital in Elgin, South Carolina, which is an acute rehab facility. And so if you have any loved ones or anyone that you think may need some acute rehab, we are there to help you. It is in Elgin, but the ride is not as long as it seems.
All right, welcome.
All right.
Glad to have you here. Is that everyone? Connor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she said, oh, yeah, thanks. Hey, my name's Connor Watkins. I am the events coordinator with Nephron Pharmaceuticals, and we just recently joined the Irmo Chamber, so I am happy to be here.
Glad to have you.
Congratulations on your new position, sir.
Connor and I have worked together for a lot of years during his time at the Lexington Chamber, and I always tell him that I just coveted him because I wanted my very, very own communications director, but we haven't gotten to that size and level yet. But Connor, you did great work for them, so I wish you the best at Nephron, for sure. Okay, a couple of things. The gala, who all was there? Nice. Was the food amazing? Yes, the food was amazing. Rick, Alicia, please stand up for just a moment. They are so fun to work with, and everything was just magical. It was wonderful. The food, the comments from everybody have been fantastic. If you look at the pictures at the beginning of the night all the way to the end of the night, you can tell that everybody had a really, really, really good time. And some of you will be getting your pictures texted to you and not posted on Facebook. I'm just saying, okay? Woo-wee. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who supported that event. It was the largest event we've ever put on, and I think that might be the most people I've ever stood up and spoken in front of. So that was pretty cool. But there was one person who wasn't in attendance with us that night, and that was Beach Loveland. And Beach, will you come up here, please? Mr. Beach Loveland, my good friend with Loveland Coffee. As you know, Beach has built an entire community around his gorgeous little coffee shop, and it's going to be, the location is going to be right where our new Main Street is going to be in Irmo. So Beach, he won our Innovation Award, which is new this year. So I wanted to present that to you. Yeah. Wait. We have to get a picture over here. We have to get a picture so that I can put it with all my other pictures. So you stand in the middle. Yeah. Perfect. All right, a couple of announcements for stuff we've got coming up before we get to our school district friends. Karaoke is coming back March 29th. Yep. Karaoke. We will do that on the patio at the Chamber House, March 29th, 5 to 7. John, our DJ who was at the gala the other night, who is so much fun, he will be hosting us for karaoke. And of course, we'll have beer, wine, appetizers, all that kind of stuff. So put that on your calendar. It's open to all. Bring your friends who can sing and even the ones who can't. And the ones who think they can sing but can't. Those are the best, yeah. So that's March 29th. And then if you'll save the date, May 19th, we'll have Red, White, and Blues in Irmo Town Park. So we're really excited about that. We have Rhythm 54 coming back again this year, so they'll be playing in the gazebo. That would be May 19th. So, Amanda, there you are. Are you ready? Okay. And Raymond, we're ready for school district. I'm going to ask Amanda Taylor to come on up here, and we'll hear about all the wonderful things the students are doing.
Yes. Thank you, Carrie. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Amanda Taylor with School District 5. So happy to be here today to share lots of great news with you. First of all, 2 School District 5 high school wrestlers won the state championship during the individual state wrestling championship at the Anderson Civic Center back in February. I've got a lot of numbers here, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to read this and get it right. Irmo High School's Justin Hayes won his 2nd state championship. He won last year as well, as he claimed the Class 4A 160-pound crown. He won last year at 152 pounds. Chapin High School's Patrick Brophy completed an undefeated season by winning the 5A 195-pound title. So this event came after 2 School District 5 middle school students also won at the Carolina Invitational Wrestling Tournament in Greenville back in January. Preston White, representing Chapin Middle School, placed first in the state for boys' 102-pound weight competition. And Kiora Ballard from Irmo Middle School placed first in the girls' heavyweight class division. So we are so proud of all these students for their dedication, hard work, and representing us so well. Chapin High School and Dutch Fork High School Beta Clubs competed at the South Carolina Senior Beta Club Convention in Myrtle Beach recently. They had lots of success. The clubs brought home awards in the following categories: creative writing, language arts, math, quiz bowl, science, and social studies. So now these winning students are eligible to compete at the National Convention in Nashville this summer. So we're wishing for more continued success for them. And I'm going to stay with the Beta Club for just a minute. And 2 School District 5 students were selected as semifinalists in the National Beta Club Scholarship Program. Carolyn Chen at Dutch Fork High School and Reese Myers at Chapin High School have each earned a $1,000 scholarship and the opportunity to earn one of the 5 top scholarships of up to $20,000 at the national level. These 2 were selected from more than 2,900 applicants. So we are super proud of them and super proud to have 2 recipients in our district out of this large number. And then this one you're definitely going to want to check out. School District 5 is hosting an online visual arts showcase to highlight exceptional works of visual art. Since COVID, we've had to be a little creative with our art shows, so this is the way we're going to do it. And I invite you all to check this out. You can log on to our website at lexrich5.org, and you'll see a link that looks like that to the visual art showcase. Once you get there, you can navigate by school and see all the different submissions. And I'm going to tell you, I spent some time this week looking at the art that these students have done, and if you check it out, you will not be disappointed. I promise. It is amazing. We're proud of our talented students and happy to be able to share their art in this way for so many more to enjoy that may have seen it the old way. So maybe we're new and improved now in this area. So now to my favorite part, I'm going to introduce Mr. Christian English. He is the principal at Seven Oaks Elementary School right around the corner to introduce us to his Student and Teacher of the Month.
Trying to get everybody to come up with me because I don't like being alone. Hi, my name is Christian English. I'm the principal at Seven Oaks Elementary School, Media Magnet. Thank you all so much for giving us this opportunity to honor 2 of our best and brightest. Our teacher of the month is Miss Leslie Jones. She's a 3rd grade teacher. Not only is she teacher of the month, she's our current teacher of the year. She's a top 3 finalist for district teacher of the year. The amazing thing about Ms. Jones is not only is she brilliant and a master academically, but the amount of time and effort she puts into the social and emotional well-being of her students is unmatched. She is a joy and a pleasure, and we're honored to have her at Seven Oaks. Our student of the month is 5th grader Kimani Mercer. I've been at Seven Oaks for 2 years, so I've gotten to know her as a 4th grader and a 5th grader. She is a magical young lady. When you think about a student who you want to, if you could just clone them, that's who she is. She's a leader in her class. She's smart. She's got a heart bigger than gold. When we have new students come in, she takes them under her wing. Recently, her teacher wasn't feeling well, and Kimani, without being asked, stepped up to make sure that the class kept going, the teacher got the support that she needed, and that we could just keep going. I couldn't be prouder of Seven Oaks, but I couldn't be happier to be with these 2 fine ladies. So thank you all for giving us this opportunity to honor them.
Y'all actually get a 2-for-1 today because we're going to be on spring break in April when you have your next meeting. So I'm now going to welcome Dr. Karen Hampton, acting principal at Irmo High School.
Good afternoon. Good to see some familiar faces, some friends that I know previously. We have our student body president and current teacher of the year to introduce today. So I'm going to ask you guys just to come on up so that way I can look at you while I talk, and then we can move forward. First, we have Alex Blocker. He has been tapped as Senator Blocker by our student body. Alex is known by everyone at Irmo High School. He is currently our student body president. He also participates as a student ambassador. He is a member of the Irmo NAACP. He does everything and anything as an international baccalaureate student at Irmo High School and will be going to Howard University in the fall. Alex, there is nothing that he does not do. There's nothing that we don't ask that he doesn't show up for, with a smile, and always very professional, very cordial. We are absolutely blessed to have him. One quick personal note about Alex, I don't think he remembers this, but I remember when he was a little boy in church at his daddy's feet at the piano on Sundays. So it is great to see and be a part of a community where you can see the children grow up. So when I saw him the first day of 9th grade, I said, oh, look how tall you got. So we are so excited to have Alex and have had him as a Yellow Jacket as he matriculated through Irmo High School, and look forward to the wonderful things he is going to do beyond. So thank you, Alex. Next, we have our current teacher of the year, Dr. Exandria Sutton. Dr. Sutton is a special education teacher with us at Irmo High School, and she does all the things all the time. So there are times when there are students who may not even be on her roster, but she's walking them down the hall, she's asking them questions. How are you? How can I help you? What can I do to be sure that you are successful? She is absolutely what we look for in every teacher. So we are thrilled to have her. We enjoy not only Dr. Sutton, but Dr. Sutton's husband also works at Irmo High School. So we have a two-for team, and they do an absolute fabulous job with working and caring for our students. So not only during the day does she do a phenomenal job, also in the evenings with our additional tutoring programs. You will see Dr. Sutton working one-on-one with students to be sure that they are successful. So thank you so much, Dr. Sutton.
Here, we'll get a picture over here, all of us over here. So in the midst of all of that, I got a text from my daughter, and she says, hey, Mom, where are you? I said, I'm at work. Where are you? She goes, well, I'm sitting here waiting for you to pick me up from school. So I had to send Driggers to go get her. Oh, these darn half days, man. I'm telling you, I can't keep up with them because they're different in District 5 than they are in District 1, and I don't really pay attention to District 1 where my kids actually go to school, because I'm so busy paying attention to District 5. So if I look like I was a little flustered over there, I apologize. But help is on the way. So thank goodness for boyfriends, right? All right. We're going to get to our speaker. Whew. Y'all, I just don't always have it together. I know you think I do, but I don't. All right. Our speaker today is Mr. Bob Morgan, and he's the president and CEO of the South Carolina Chamber, which the Irmo Chamber is a member of that chamber. And he is the leading voice for business in South Carolina. Prior to joining the South Carolina Chamber in April of 2021, he was previously with the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce and also the Gastonia Chamber of Commerce. I had the pleasure of talking to Bob back sometime last year when he came and spoke to my Rotary, and it was nice to have a conversation knowing that he had come from, humble beginnings, a smaller chamber such as this. But, during the pandemic, I know all of you relied on this chamber heavily to get the information that you needed to, keep your businesses going. And I have to tell you that the South Carolina Chamber, they were the ones that kept us afloat, all of the other chambers afloat, because it was like a constant stream of information from them, making sure that we were able to turn that around and get it out to you guys. So the South Carolina Chamber does really incredible things for this state. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Bob Morgan to come up here and talk to y'all.
Good afternoon. And Carrie, thank you for that introduction. And I have to tell you that compliment you just gave our team for the information that they began sharing during the pandemic well before I got there is a compliment that I hear often, so I appreciate it. Good to be with all of you. And as Carrie just told you, I am a local Chamber of Commerce guy first, and have spent almost 30 years of my career on staff at the Charlotte Chamber, Charlotte being where I grew up and have spent most of my life, 3 years over at the Gaston Chamber of Commerce, just across the Catawba River from Charlotte. Carrie might appreciate that my first day on the job in Gastonia, there were 6 of us on staff, and I'm president and CEO. I've got it on my business card, and thinking that that's a big deal. And on Tuesday night before we went home, one of the ladies on the staff pulled me aside and said, "Bob, it's Tuesday night. This is the night that you roll the trash out to the curb." And so I know a little bit about entrepreneurial type chambers, and I have to tell you, I'm very impressed with the energy and the size of the crowd that you all have here and the great recognition that you're a part of. Kudos to all of you who've been recognized, and kudos to all of our public servants who are here, and kudos to all the business people who are here, sponsors who help bring IRMO together through the Chamber of Commerce to help make your community and our world a better place. I am approaching a 1-year anniversary of having moved from Charlotte to take the job at the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. My wife and I, empty nesters, having now made Columbia our home. Full disclosure, I'm a Tar Heel, but I'm married to a Gamecock. And I've been told that I might not have gotten the job but for the fact that I'm married to a Gamecock. But brought a little bit of familiarity to the job. And when I was contacted a couple of Octobers ago, "Bob, we need somebody who doesn't have any political scar tissue over in the State House." And I said, "Well, that's good. I don't even know many of your legislators there. We need someone who knows how to run a membership-based organization." I have that experience from my previous chambers. I said, I can go one step further. I said, when you grow up in Charlotte and spend most of your life there, you're probably no more than 10 miles from the state line. And you grow up vacationing at Myrtle Beach, and in the Boy Scouts, you're on the Yorktown spending the night. And the Chamber of Commerce Association is the Carolinas Chamber Association. And so I can bring a familiarity of South Carolina that might help me to get up and running a little bit faster than if I were coming from somewhere much further away. So whatever familiarity I had, it's been a big learning curve these last 11 months, and I thought I might share with you some of the observations and things I've seen and had the opportunity to do, both from a statewide perspective and then back to the Midlands, and then time permitting, we can talk about any legislative issues that you might be interested in. Have long known that South Carolina is a manufacturing state, but wow, the scale and the numbers of it. I had never toured the BMW plant in the upstate, knowing how transformative that project has been to the state of South Carolina and to our economy. Here's a number for you. 1,600 cars a day, every single day, roll off of the assembly line in Greenville. 1,600. Can you imagine the inputs of materials and then the output of what do you do with 1,600 cars? And I tell you what you do with them. 70% of them go to the Port of Charleston. 80% of those go to China, underscoring how tied we are to the global economy, underscoring how valuable that port of Charleston is as the #1 economic driver to the economy in South Carolina. And I will say to you that as someone who was in economic development in Charlotte, at times, of course, competing against South Carolina, but also knowing that the Port of Charleston is one of Charlotte's great assets. More of Charlotte's product goes in and out of the Port of Charleston than Wilmington or Savannah or anywhere else. And so that number impressed me. Right up the road in Newberry, Samsung rolls 6,000 washing machines off the assembly line every day of the year. Just great numbers in the advanced manufacturing that goes into this, the robotics. Very impressive. If you haven't toured BMW, they do public tours. I think they've resumed them and would highly recommend that to you. Have learned that agribusiness is still an important part of our economy. And I like to give people a little quiz. Who knows where more peaches are grown in South Carolina by county than any other? What would you guess? I'm sorry? County. Lexington County. We grow peaches in Lexington County? I didn't know that. Spartanburg. Aiken. No. Nobody said Gaffney. I would have guessed Gaffney because of that peach. And I will tell you, when you're raising 2 young sons from Charlotte and you're driving to Atlanta, that peach is that's a tourist destination, not because it looks like a peach, right? Edgefield County. Edgefield County has one farm, Titan Farms, that produces more peaches than the entire state of Georgia, right there in Edgefield County. The Savannah River site, heard of it most of my life, 300 plus square miles covering, spread out over 3 different counties. Just a massive project. At one time, 5 nuclear reactors that were up and running, not to produce electricity for the surrounding areas, but to produce the ingredients that went into nuclear bombs that got assembled elsewhere, a product of the Cold War. Of course, the military has a major presence in our economy. Fort Jackson, right here in the Midlands, Shaw Air Force Base, the Marine Corps Air Station in Beaufort. Tourism, huge draw. I don't need to tell you all that. Last year, what a remarkable year, just looking at the golf world, from the Masters being just right across the state line, of course, but a major economic impact in South Carolina. A week later, the Heritage, one of the great regular stops on the PGA Tour, hosting the PGA Championship at Kiowa that Phil Mickelson won, the Palmetto Championship that was a unique one-time deal, and the tourism industry, of course, just booming through the pandemic as people flocked to our golf courses and flocked to our lakes for boating and recreation, and to the coast, of course, for all that the beaches have to offer. Have observed with interest, I don't know exactly what to call it, I guess call it the I-77 North Corridor. Back when I first started at the Charlotte Chamber in the early 90s, a group from Charlotte, about 50 of us, came down and spent time with a group here from the Columbia area to talk about how we could cause development to happen along that corridor. A couple months later, Columbia came to Charlotte, and we continued that conversation. Not a whole lot came out of that, but boy, is that area, I think, poised to really take off. And the residential growth from Charlotte continues to spill over into York County and Lancaster County and Chester County. Columbia's residential market is creeping north to Blythewood and further points north. And then you've got some things going, and I have to update this one. There's a slight pause, and you've got the Panthers training facility, which we think is going to be a great thing in Rock Hill. If you saw the news yesterday, there's a little conflict between the city of Rock Hill and the owner of the Panthers, and there's a pause in the construction of that, which is trying to learn more about. But let's assume that's going to take place and will be a great the headquarters of the Panthers, the practice facilities of the Panthers, and built much like what's been done by the NFL in Dallas and Atlanta and other markets, a real tourism destination and draw. You've got the Gallo plant. Gallo from California is going to bottle wines and other spirits in Chester County, creating over 500 jobs, distributing product up and down the East Coast. Going to be transformative to that neck of the woods. And if that's not enough, you may or may not be familiar with what's going to happen in Great Falls soon as Duke Energy, in relicensing the river, they're going to build a whitewater park. Unlike the artificial whitewater park in Charlotte that you may be familiar with, this you'll drop your kayaks in above the town and literally kayak right into the town. And if you don't think that's going to be a draw for young people who love those outdoor recreational, unique opportunity type things, just watch. Young people will move from 3 hours away. They will drive from 3 hours away to be a part of that. A lot of them will determine, okay, I think I'd like to live in South Carolina, and we'll see growth from that. Some other observations, and you all underscore this first one. South Carolina is blessed with a lot of strong local chambers of commerce across the state. There is a very strong business-minded orientation that drives the civic agenda in most parts of our state, and I again commend you all for being a part of that. I'm also impressed, not to get political, but I think we have some very strong leadership in state government. And having enjoyed the opportunity to get to know some agency heads like Dan Elsey, a corporate attorney, employment lawyer who runs the Department of Employment and Workforce, gets up every morning thinking about how can state government help employers who are facing this workforce shortage that's so real and the number one challenge to all of our businesses. If you haven't had as a speaker Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs, General Grimsley, a two-star general, father was president of the Citadel. He spent 30 plus years, served in combat, Bronze Star, Purple Heart. While he was there, he got 2 master's degrees and a PhD. The first secretary of that now elevated department that's looking for ways to help veterans transition from military life to civilian life here in South Carolina. Our Department of Transportation secretary ranked amongst her peers as one of the best in the country at Commerce, to replace a Bobby Hitt, who was a superstar in the economic development business with a Harry Lightsey. We've got some strong people, leaders who run the business of state government like a business, and I'm very impressed with that. Looking at the State House, from across the state line, South Carolina looks very deep red, and it is, and yet I've learned that doesn't automatically mean that some folks are pro-business. There is a strong trial lawyer presence in the State House. There are many strong Republican trial lawyers who are in the State House. And so when we talk about issues like tort reform and tax reform, it's not just as automatically pro-business as it might have perceived it to be. Another observation, and I'm speaking to a group tomorrow, the group of independent colleges and universities. Higher education plays a much larger role in South Carolina than I had realized, and that I think more so than most business people realize. When you look at our 3 research universities, MUSC, Clemson, University of South Carolina, you're talking over $600 million in PhD level research for the federal government, for corporations, research that finds its way into the economy through patents and startups and spin-outs and applied technology within existing industries. Our colleges and universities, public and private, sometimes in many cases amongst the largest employers in the communities that they're in, and attracting thousands of students from outside of the state who bring money into the economy with all that they spend. I mentioned to you that my wife graduated from USC. That was back in 1987. Boy, Columbia is a different place now than it was. I first came here with her in 1980. '89, it was the first year that Sparky Woods was the head coach, if you remember Coach Woods. I had no idea that the life sciences industry, led by a company like Nephron, employs 2,000 or 3,000 people and does cutting-edge work for healthcare and life sciences. Had no idea that Blue Cross Blue Shield was anything more than just a state insurance company, that in fact they employ over 10,000 people and process millions of claims for the federal government, being a truly national business, unlike most Blue Cross Blue Shield organizations in the state. What a beautiful state house we have. I'm on the 11th floor of 1301 Gervais Street, looking down on the State House. It's beautiful architecture. It's just classic classic seat of government. Have enjoyed spending time there. Our governor's mansion, y'all have probably been to events there. I have only been to one now, but was there for a press conference, and when it was over, the governor said, "Bob, have you had a tour of the mansion?" And I said, "I have not." He said, "Well, I'd love to give you one." And I said, "I'll let you." And we walked in the front door, and the first room to the left, I believe it's a library, and there's this large picture of Governor Haley. And I said, "Governor, is it tradition that your immediate predecessor has such a prominent place within the mansion?" And he said, "No, she put it there. I just haven't gotten around to taking it down yet." So that was fun. Great amenities that make Columbia and the Midlands and Lexington a great place to live and to work. The Riverbank Zoo, I can tell you, raising 2 young sons in Charlotte, we came here once. We went to the North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro once, and we never went back to Asheboro. We came here many times, the Riverbank Zoo. What a wonderful asset. The Columbia Museum of Art, Ed Venture. We've enjoyed getting out and visiting some of the sub-markets. West Columbia looks a whole lot different than Meg remembers it. Al's upstairs is still around, but so many other good quality restaurants there. The Vista is so much more than it used to be. 5 Points, and just a much higher quality of life than she remembers from back then and that we had expected. Have not had the opportunity because of the pandemic to do the Lake Murray Dam dinner. I don't know if you all claim that or if that's more the Lexington Chamber, but Lake Murray, what a great asset it is to the region. Did get to go to the Gervais Street Bridge dinner back in last April, and that was pretty awesome. So as it relates to shift now in the time we have to what's happening in the legislature, I'm going to throw some numbers at you and then throw out some topics, and we can just talk about any of them that you have an interest in. I'd like to share with you some numbers. The state has a surplus this year of $7.6 billion. $7.6 billion. 2.5 of those are one-time ARPA, or American Rescue Plan Act, federal relief, COVID relief related dollars. 2.5 billion one time in funds. That does not include the infrastructure money that is a couple billion extra dollars that passed up in Washington in December. The state has $525 million in the settlement with the Savannah River site. And then the state's revenues above projection are $4.6 billion. So it is a literally once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our state legislators to appropriate and do with what they will with those dollars. Now, the top priority for our chamber in this legislative session, something that's been a top priority for more than 5 years before my arrival, is comprehensive tax reform. South Carolina is ranked in the bottom half of the states in our overall tax climate. We are a great place for large corporations that can qualify for incentives and the fee in lieu of taxes, and the Boeings and the BMWs of the world. That has been very important in attracting them and the jobs they bring. The personal property tax rate for those with one home, very, very attractive and competitive. But in a whole host of other areas, the tax rate, property tax rates on commercial property, the property tax rates on industrial property, the individual income tax rate amongst the highest in the Southeast. In fact, at 7%, the published rate, it is the highest in the Southeast. We don't think there's an appetite for comprehensive tax reform in the State House. We know there's not, but we do have two competing proposals now. One from the House, which has proposed that the personal income tax 5 brackets be simplified to 2, and that the rate at 7% be lowered to 6% over 5 years, with some triggers in there that if the state doesn't meet revenue projections, the cuts would be delayed. The Senate would go a couple of steps further. The Senate would, not over 5 years, but immediately take the income tax rate from 7% to 5.7%. It would also effectively reduce the industrial or manufacturing commercial property tax rate from what is today 9% down to 6%. It would make the counties whole in doing that. And the Senate has proposed, and in fact, Senate Finance Committee just last evening is sending to the floor this package that also includes a $1 billion tax rebate that the details we learned just yesterday. All taxpayers, anybody who files taxes in South Carolina would be eligible for a rebate. If you're one of those 44% who files but you don't pay any state income tax because of your deductions and you don't make enough, I think it's $100 for those folks, and then it's up to $600 or $700 for folks at the higher end. I would say to you, don't get too excited about any of those particular details, because as the House and Senate now begin working on the budget and go to conference, not all of that's going to remain. If you're going to cut the individual income tax rate and give up that revenue, if you're going to make the counties whole on the industrial property tax rate, if you're going to give a tax rebate, that's money that you can't then go spend on infrastructure or workforce development or the ports or highways or education or other things. So there's a conference committee yet to come together. Something will come out of it. There will be some form of tax cuts. What those details look like remain to be seen. Workforce development, I mentioned, number one issue facing our workers. There's good stuff proposed, working its way through the budget process, money for workforce scholarships to basically give people free tuition to our technical colleges. Not just any disciplines, but disciplines that are directly tied to the needs of the large employers in our state. There was a pilot program last year that put 4,000 South Carolinians to a higher level of skill set and higher paying jobs, and the proposal is to expand that. Infrastructure, we're in a very good position as a state to take those federal dollars, add them to what's already in the program. We'll have about 30% more dollars to widen I-26 between here and Charleston, get on with the malfunction junction project, and other priorities of the state. For our chamber, last year we were strong proponents of the hate crimes bill, South Carolina being one of 2 states without a hate crimes bill. The good news, it passed the House with overwhelmingly bipartisan support, went to the Senate, passed the Senate Finance Committee. Hopefully it will come to the floor of the Senate later this year for a vote. A lot going on in education, teacher pay raises, one-time pay raises, as well as ongoing policy issues around education. An issue we've not taken a position on, but medical marijuana, finally this year, after 7 years of attempts by a handful of senators, has passed the Senate. I have been told by the Speaker that he expects it will likely pass the House. Many of the manufacturers in our state have concerns about that, particularly those that do business in other states that have already gone down the path of legalizing medical marijuana. South Carolina's bill will be amongst the most restrictive in the country, we're told. It may even be made more restrictive as it goes to the floor of the House with some amendments. But it does look like there's going to be some form of legalization of medical marijuana. So let me stop there and just see with those topics what of any of those you'd like for me to expand on further, or questions that you have. And if you don't have any questions, I've got a couple for y'all. Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody in this room ever think that you would hear the words medical marijuana come out of his mouth in the state of South Carolina? Did anybody ever think that that would happen?
No.
I sure didn't.
So
But I think that's exciting.
So here's the question, two questions. How many support the legalization of medical marijuana in South Carolina? That's pretty, I'd say that's 60% of the crowd. How many would support the recreational legalization
It's
of marijuana?
brought a lot of money to the West Coast. A ton of money.
Okay, y'all are being respectful. Y'all are being respectful of our law enforcement in the back. There are some potheads in this room, I'll guarantee it. You're smart enough not to raise your hands, but no, there is no appetite. And again, we've not taken a position on medical marijuana because of some of the concerns of our manufacturers. There's no appetite right now that I'm aware of for recreational, the legalization of recreational use. Other questions?
I have one, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I know there's not an appetite for tax reform, but a subject that continues to come up that I'm personally interested in is non-occupied personal properties. Why isn't there a discussion about that, and are there any complications with it? It just makes sense to me to move forward on that kind of thing. Can you speak to that?
Well, help me with non-occupied. Is that rental property?
It could be rental or investment property. You know, I buy and flip homes. You know, that's where my interest comes in. I don't rent any because I can't figure out how to make any money due to the tax consequences of the non-occupied home that I would possess outside of my own home. That's my question.
So I'm trying to understand a state as conservative as South Carolina, why there's any reluctance to cut taxes at a time when the state has, obscene surpluses. Part of the answer, as I understand it, is that the late Senator Leatherman, who was so influential in writing the state budget, was just very conservative on the subject of let's don't affect the state's revenues so that we can run the business of state government. That is changing, and yet the appetite is pretty much limited to what I talked about. We are in conversations with folks at the Senate level as it goes from finance to the floor. Can we add in things like addressing the unoccupied or the rental property income? Because we hear about that all the time. Have had a developer come and say, Bob, I built a project. Rent to build is a thing now where developers will build single-family detached homes with no intention of selling them, but a lot of young people, it's a transitional type product. They're moving out of the college-style apartments, not yet ready to buy the four-bedroom house on the cul-de-sac in the suburbs, but will rent these single-family homes. This developer did a project in Simpsonville, and the property taxes were 25% of the gross rental income for that market. They did the same project in Chattanooga, and the property taxes were 7%. And so it is a problem. I'm trying to understand the reluctance to address it. We're coming at it from the angle that whenever we talk about the need for affordable housing or workforce housing, we're losing out because the property taxes are too high in instances like that and instances like yours. So keep talking to your legislators. At some point, maybe the appetite will change.
Bob, I don't know if you're aware or not, but in the state of South Carolina, we have a real shortage of veterinarians. 51 of the 75 shelters in the state do not even have a vet, which means when an animal is surrendered out, it's euthanized, period. I work at Palmetto. We have 8 vets. We're down 5 right now. And this is just resulting, we run the caravans on the weekend trying to give rabies shots. We usually see 1,000 animals. We have to have one vet in every one of those 4 vans on the weekend. We can't staff it anymore, which means we're only seeing about 500 people. There's going to be an increase of rabies, heartworm, all that type of thing. But the rabies is a real issue. But there's talk in the legislature about possibly building a veterinary school, I don't know what where they, accredit, train vets, that type of thing. Do you know anything about that?
I've learned a lot in the last 11 months. I have learned nothing about that subject. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Does Clemson not have a veterinary school?
No, sir. There's Athens and Raleigh.
Okay. No, I'll try to learn more
But
about that.
I think it's alarming that 51 out of 75 shelters in South Carolina do not even have a vet.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Yep.
Any other
Is this
questions?
the boot? The hook? This is where I'm bringing you the hook. Nice. Nice. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with y'all. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Bob. That was a lot of really good information. I appreciate you sharing that with us today and for being with us. You'll have to come out here and bring your wife out here to eat in Irmo. We have some amazing places here in the town. So, yeah, just cross the river. It's good. You just come across the river. All right. Lisa Kimes was here. Did she leave already? Or Nothing But Cakes lady? I think she did. For everybody who came to the gala, you got a cake. Nothing But Cakes, they really took care of us at the gala. She's amazing. So anyway, if you see her, tell her I said so. Okay, we've got, if y'all want to get your tickets out, we have a few door prizes. Let me put my glasses on because I can't see. Are we going to dance? Is that what we're going to do? All right. Chef Jay, is this a snack box? Okay, we have a snack box from Art of Charcuterie, and that goes to 057. 057? Okay, going once. Next up is zero. Who got it? Oh, Chuck. You got a charcuterie box. Here, you want to take that? Well done, Chuck. All right, next up, the DoubleTree. We've got 2 DoubleTree cookies up here, yes, and it's also a free night, correct? A free night and a junior suite. Is that like what I had? Oh, I had a deluxe. Y'all, it was nice. Okay, so breakfast for 2 and a junior suite at the DoubleTree, and 2 cookies. All right. All right, so that one's going to go to, let's see, 026. 026? Oh, that's a lot of really disappointed looking people. Okay, 038. See? You come to the luncheon, you get good stuff. Yeah. All right. I've got that up here for you. And then finally, we've got a 1-year maintenance agreement from Castle Brothers Heating and Cooling, and that is going to go to 028. No? Anyone? Bueller? Oh, you already got it? You're just so lucky you don't need that. Okay, 013. Ah! All right, Chuck. All right, that's all we've got for you guys today. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we hope to see you soon.